Hey there everyone, this is the Saigami Project and my name is Andrea Otilia Vörös, aka Sunny, creator of the manga series Saigami, published and serialized in Saturday AM. If you don't know, Saturday AM is a bi-weekly digital manga anthology, kinda like Shonen Jump. In a previous video, I started a topic on how to create characters for your manga. And I also set up a sort of hierarchy list in order to place your characters in the story. In today's video, I'm gonna concentrate on how to build up and develop your characters. Like I said before, our characters are the heart and the soul of the story, and in order to make them truly feel alive and touch the readers, they need to be built up from the following set of building stones. Number 1. Inner life. Probably the most complex of the list, containing the backstory, the wishes, motivation, feelings, thoughts, basically everything that's going on inside the head of our characters. Number 2. Outer attributes. Basically the design of our character. Body build-up, color, hairstyles, clothing, and so on. Number 3. Range of expressions. The way our character speaks, behaves, moves. Since all of these three are complex and long topics, I decided to slice it up, and in today's video I'm only gonna concentrate on the inner life part, and in upcoming videos I'm gonna show you the outer attributes and range of expressions as well. So let's jump into it, inner life. In order to present an interesting character to the readers, you need to come up with all sorts of delicate details about your characters to define who they are. Where do they come from? What kind of lives did they have so far? What do they like? What are their fears? What do they hate? What are their dreams, their motivation? And the list can go on. But before you start drafting out your character's life from kindergarten, be sure not to overdo it. Concentrate only on the important parts. Many are falling into the trap of getting lost in unnecessary details. I saw so many character sheets with so much information that are absolutely irrelevant to the story. Sure, it might be fun to come up with them, and some of your hardcore fans might be interested, but let's be honest, it hardly defines your character whether they like hot chocolate with 2 sugars or 3 or something like that. What truly will show who our characters are their goals and the way they try to reach them. This is pretty much the pillar of every story as well. No matter what significant or minor role a character has, every single one of them has to want something. This will also lead to the conflicts. Your character might be super unique and badass. If they lack the goal or motivation, the story won't advance. Every moment in a comic is just as important as much it affects our heroes. And in order to know how it will affect your character, you need to build up their personalities and inner world elaborately. To create characters for your story, you need to create their past, their present, and their future as well. That will define them. The best of characters, or backstories, which can also sometimes become flashbacks in the manga, are critical and crucial parts of every story. But in order to make your story good, you can't fall into traps. Many stories, be it pro or amateur, tend to make mistakes with backstories. It's almost a given that heroes, heroines, or even villains will have a tragic past in order to make their effort and achievements more touching or epic. And it's actually nothing wrong with that, as long as you keep it at a point where the reader can still relate to your characters. For example, the vast majority of stories, especially amateur stories, tend to start out with a hero who has lost parents or lives alone, or something like that. Having an orphaned main character can be really convenient plot-wise, but it's something that the majority won't be able to relate to. Luckily, of course. However, you can add elements that will make easier to read. Sadly, nearly everyone has experienced what it feels like to be left alone. But honestly said, um, losing parents is luckily something that not everyone will be able to relate to, especially not losing both parents. And this can make things complicated. I saw so many characters who are orphans based on the story, but it's like they just don't even care about it. And it really, really annoys me, because losing your parents is a trauma, without a doubt. And it's probably the biggest trauma one will ever experience. And when it doesn't even affect the character, I don't feel like it's honest storytelling. It's like the creator wants to go the easy way. You know, just make us feel sorry for the character or get our condolences. But in the end of the day, it comes back to poor storytelling and the creator's inability to portray the character's inner world correctly. There are so many options with family backgrounds that can make things interesting and, more importantly, make things feel relevant. Just take a look around you. You'll see all kinds of different families and lives with their own struggles and battles to fight. I honestly don't even understand why the orphan cliche is so overused. When you have so many inner struggle you can build in your story, when you want to give a hard past to your character. Actually, it's not a necessity, but interestingly, hardships can make us being able to relate to easier. Probably because at some point in life we all experienced what it feels like to be left behind, to be not good enough, when no one believes in what you can achieve, when you want to be someone else and just no one understands you. Sometimes even the smallest or what seems to be small inner struggle can make a character interesting and carry on something that will make him even more interesting in the future. If you look at popular series, which is always a good way to learn, I kinda see that lately these backstories and family backgrounds are becoming more interesting as well. Like the creators are realizing that they don't have to go the cliche way. I will pick My Hero Academia, for example. Our hero Izuku wants to be a hero, but he soon has to realize that he can't become one, because he lacks the superpower for it. It not just will make him an underdog, but it also kinda represents our childhood dreams dying. Didn't we all wanted to become heroes like him? And to top it, he might have a fully normal family. But there was this scene in the first chapter where Izuku's mother just gives up on believing in him and only cries and apologizes. In my opinion, that scene was more heartbreaking and touching than any fake or funny struggle. And you see, small and realistic things can make your character's backstory more interesting and touching than cliches. But backstories aren't just there for tearjerkers, but to define the present and the future of our heroes. The past is the foundation of the character, but the present is what the story is about. Because of this, you only need that much of backstory that is necessary for the present character build up and personality. A character who had a tough childhood will carry scars that can leave him or her with many negative feelings, but can also lead to the opposite effect. And this is the part where you will need to put in the most effort. I just don't care about characters' tragic past if it doesn't represent on them. You need to make your character interesting in the present in order to make the reader care about them enough to look at their backstories. Your character has to overcome the past. What they carry from their yestern defines them at the starting point of the story, but their present and future selves will be formed by their decisions and acts. And that is where you will need to play your cards right. What can they overcome easily? What will make them fail or do the wrong decisions? It's like a super interesting mind game connecting the past with the future. Use the inner life of your characters to justify their acts and connect to the reader. Of course, there's no by the book method that will grant the sympathy of the readers, but the most important thing is that the reader has to understand your characters and their acts. And that's a key point there, because only when the reader understands and relates to your characters will they care enough about their future. And that is what you have to aim for when you are creating and developing your characters. To make the reader care, to turn the page, to read the chapters from chapter to chapter, to care about your characters and the story. As you can see, creating an interesting inner life for your characters is not easy. You really will need to put your heart and soul into it if you want to touch the readers and make your characters come alive. It's actually a topic that we could discuss for long and long hours, and probably not even then would we have the perfect answer, as there is no perfection. Well, so much about this part of the video. Next time I will be back with the promised upcoming part of the character creation, outer attributes, design, and the range of expressions. Until then, give it some thoughts that who are your favorite anime and manga characters and why them? What makes them interesting to you? Who are the characters you can relate to the most? I'm also interested in your answers, so leave a comment down below. I hope you find this video useful, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up or share it or even subscribe for the upcoming parts. I really appreciate every kind of support you guys gave me. Also, please don't forget you can read my manga series Saigami. The first 2 chapters are up online for free at Saturday AM site, or you can also purchase the first volume of the book. It's also in print and in digital format as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next time, bye!